It's late. What's going on, good people? What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of a random late nights firm. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you going through tonight. I don't know where you are tonight. But tonight, I got a couple questions. You may not be live to give the answers, but whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, this is the F.I.R.M podcast. It's F.I.R.M all day, fellowship in righteous manner. I'm up late at night. I'm just a righteous man up late. And this is just a random moment that people will catch right now or later, but you might be up like me. You know what I'm saying? You might be woke like me. I don't know. I don't know what people are going through tonight. I know that I have some questions. Look at my background. The city of Indianapolis. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? My name is Flavius, known by many names, but I'm on the F.I.R.M podcast tonight, and it's late. It's late nights. F.I.R.M. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay strong. I'm up late, and I got so many things that are racing in my mind, and it's because deep down inside, you got to embrace every area of life. You know, your curiosity can get you in trouble. Even though you may be a person of faith, mobsters, you know what I'm saying, pray. I think I just watched an interview where Jay Prince told somebody he appreciates, that's the head of Rap A Lot Records, that he appreciates somebody out there that prays. So if people who are living a lifestyle that many are encouraged not to live are praying, how much more, you know what I'm saying, is the prayer life, is it got to be a competition? Their prayers are greater than ours are greater than theirs, or maybe it's just the fact that we're praying to the right people. Anyways, it's late at night, you know what I'm saying, it's a F.I.R.M random, you know what I'm saying. I hope everybody enjoys this, whether now or later. Y'all can comment live while we on the air. You know what I'm saying? As long as the comments are productive to the conversation that I have to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to put them up. If you're inappropriate, you know what I'm saying, to those who have come on, who know already, if you're inappropriate, I will take care of that, and that's rather on our normal times at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturdays, or whether we're doing something on Sundays, whether we come on days, daytimes, or nights, late night. Tonight just happened to be a late night. I'm a late night type of guy, and the reason why we're here tonight because I have questions. All right, I'm not ashamed to be vulnerable. I'm not ashamed to have this conversation with you. I think maybe you gone through some personal experiences or something that you've been through in life, and your story is relevant to what I need to consider or what others may consider. So comment live while we're on this bad boy. But this is the podcast that many people love to sit at the table. It's all about fellowship in a righteous manner. It's not about what you think is right. It's about what you are led, and your consideration, the way you weigh the scale out of what you live and do that's right or wrong, it matters too. But on this podcast, when you sit at this table, at the end of the day, we can all be who we are, or be who we are. But the boss is the one that we fellowship by way of. So he has the final say, whether he speaks or not. You know what I'm saying? So respect is given as respect is due. You know what I mean? I just want to put that up there. It's a warning. It's a caution to you sensitive people who Maybe we ain't got as cool as you thought we could because you so uptight. I don't know. Maybe you just ain't being real with yourself. Maybe you be having things on your mind too. Maybe you have questions like the questions that I'm gonna ask tonight. And even if you don't, I would appreciate if you consider these questions and be like, maybe it's something in you I can crack tonight. Maybe that can help me. I'm up late at night. Y'all up with me? But anyways, I want to say officially welcome to Random Late Nights F.I.R.M, a new edition of the F.I.R.M podcast.
Be released from that anger, resentment, and bitterness. That's evidence.
Our context on it, and it kind of changed the definition.
Convinced himself that he's sufficient for himself.
I love discipleship. Why I love mentoring.
The us and the us and them is ever growing.
Facebook posts, Instagram posts, just another way of connecting with people.
Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another great conversation of F.I.R.M podcast. What up, world? This is the F.I.R.M. Welcome, everybody, to a random late nights F.I.R.M. You know what I'm saying? For those of you trying to uphold something, trying to stand for something. What do they say? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything type. It may sound cliche, but you know, when they say it, it does hit you a certain type of way. You be like, And a lot of times our lives go through different paths, you know what I'm saying? Different things that we're exposed to. And even though we know how to clear up our conversation amongst those that we should be clearing up our conversation to, honor, respect, for whatever reason, fear, some people, whatever, they can't speak their mind. But either way, when you get the opportunity to keep it 100, you know what I'm saying, to keep it real, you find yourself at some point, no matter what your goals are, no matter what your plans are. I mean, I don't know, maybe you want to just watch animation all night with your homies. I don't know, maybe you want to just have a good time all night or something. I don't know what you want to do. Maybe you just like to be a couch potato and you want to chill and relax and watch and do whatever you want to watch. Maybe you a Disney addict. You know what I'm saying? And you need to take an intermission between all of the series that you're going through. Either way, whatever's got you up tonight. Most of us can relate to the issue that's on my mind tonight, and that's about love. All right, love is a wild situation, man. You know, because you can experience it in so many different ways. And it's like in any way that you experience love, what you come away with is like wise to somebody. I mean, whether it's the love of God, the love of a loved one, the love of family members, a stranger that you love at first sight. I don't know. Whatever that expression of love is that you, man, that you was like, yeah. Everybody else don't even know that that's been the test that you've been testing them by. Like, man, I know what real love is. I don't know yet. But I got some questions about love tonight. And I'm whether y'all want to comment live or not, y'all want to talk to me or not tonight. You know what I'm saying? While I'm on, and then we'll chop this up or whatever the case may be. But either way, I'm gonna ask like a couple questions that I was premeditating on. You know what I'm saying? When this was on my mind, I was like, I'm about to go live, get a random in, and for those of you who think that you strong, you know something, and you the person that everybody goes to, you know what I'm saying, for some stability in life, maybe you might have some answer, or maybe you think you do. Maybe I think I do. Maybe I think I don't. We don't know, but we're gonna find out before this is all over with. Because I got the questions lined up. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. The fellowship is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can tell somebody to like and subscribe on Facebook. Like, not subscribe on Facebook, but follow the page on Facebook at the Firm 365 24/7. Or on YouTube, it's the same. The first question I have, I'm out. We don't have much time. I mean, I don't really know how much time we have because I'm up late already. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I got a slight case of insomnia. But my first question is, does all love, should I ask this question? What did I say in the description? I said random. My questions about love. That's all I gave myself. I ain't give myself no alley oop or nothing, huh? I ain't. Well, all right, flow with it. Forget it. Forget it. The questions are queued up, but how we work through this ain't. But anyways, my first question is: does love last? Let me say this: does all love last forever? Like, I know I just threw out a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying, seeds to plant in your mind about love and the different places that and different directions we find it in as we journey through life. But is all love forever? I know there's somebody in there with that old Christian church heart. You over there like, God's love is forever. I didn't ask that. It's not the question. Let God have his final say. But right now, I'm talking to all of you who have been invited to the fellowship, to the table. Does all love last forever? I thought about that. I'm thinking about that right now. Because I know some loves, like my mom, my dad, like that love. In my heart, it lasts forever, but I know one day they're not going to be here. I got grandparents who aren't here. I got aunties, uncles, great aunties and uncles who are not here anymore. So I know, even though I want it to last forever, and I might be at their grave. I don't know. I ain't experienced my parents passing yet. I might be at their grave just I don't know. What's going on? What's going on? I appreciate you commenting on this situation. Um, excuse me. Chanel says, I feel like true love will last forever. True love. Okay. So because they are no longer here, you stop loving them. Okay. So I can alley I can handle both of them. So love lasts forever. And also, after they're here, does that mean that love stops? Um, I feel like the word that you went with is true love. I feel like true love is something that has to be reciprocated. And sometimes when a person passes on, yes, you hold on to the love you have for them, but they cannot reciprocate it. And that's why I think that anybody who ever threw up a RIP should understand behind that is the resting in peace part. You know what I'm saying? So we walk away with the weight of loving them forever, that as far as we know it, but they have no concept of the love that we carry past the day they're gone. So I feel like you can respect and remember, and love can be a memorial to those that are gone before, or excuse, before us. But I feel like true love has to be reciprocated, and that's an example of a love that can last forever. But does all love last forever? That's a great example of a love that could last forever. What about all love? I mean, there's a whole lot of other loves out here. Some people are running from the love of other people. You know what I'm saying? Ashley, what you got to say on here? You saying there's so many different types of love, though. I don't think they can all last forever. Maybe the love for your children, parents. I said that earlier about family and everything. Those can, but romantic love. Uh, what's romantic though? You know what I'm saying? What's your definition of romantic? Who set that in your mind when you think about what romantic is and all the romantic things that you done did or that have been done for you? Was that the key to longevity, to a forever love? Because most of us have loved somebody for a long time outside of family, kids, parents, and things like that. But you know what I mean? They over there loving somebody else right now. And there may be a love that you over there jealous of. Because in your heart, you believe it should last forever. But in your reality, you have to accept that it obviously doesn't. You know what I'm saying? In some circumstances. Chanel said, I feel like a lot of people are confused or confusing being in love with an infatuation. That's relevant. You know what I'm saying? I have an ex that I still love, but you're not in love with them. Mm-mm. I had an ex tell me one time that she got mad at me one time. I was like, man, don't be saying that stuff to me. Don't be. I don't even want to hear that because it was on some. We got kids and we have to be responsible parents or adults, growth and all. But let me not say but. In light of that, you know what I'm saying? It was like she checked me and was like, "You can't tell me um, if I can love you forever or not." And I'm like, what is love to you?" You know what I'm saying? Love to me is something that I can't live without. So, I mean, I can see where you can say infatuation can be easily confused for love because you can be so into a person and I mean, give them everything you want and they can betray you in so many different ways. And, the one thing that I've learned about getting older is that the way I navigate in life can change the outcome of tomorrow, and recognizing people who I see that are progressing, making changes, regardless of what they've been through in love personally, you can see progression. I feel like the older you get, the more you can kind of discern between infatuation. And sometimes you can have a sure mind about something and not be right. Because how many of us have looked into the eyes of somebody that we said we love and we took them to our parents' house, showed them to our siblings, took them to the church. You know what I'm saying? You done took them to the hood to show them how real you are. You done took them to the neighborhood or wherever people go. High end, low end, it don't matter. Whatever stamp you done put on what how you official. You done took them there, entrusted them. Some of us who are parents around your children, thinking that a year or two from now definitely wouldn't be the end. Maybe a little longer than that. Some people 5 years, 7 years. That's not 10 years. Ain't even enough for some people. Because real love, is it all forever? Let me see what y'all talking about over here. I see y'all talking in the comments section. What's the last question? Or last comment was about romantic love. Romantic love, like relationships. I've loved partners before for a long time. I thought I'd love forever, but now I don't anymore. You don't love them, is what I'm assuming for the relationship. Um, there's something there, but I understand what you're saying. It's changed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you holding on to something that's familiar. And that can that can blur the lines of what you think could be forever, a forever type of love. But I got another question. I'm gonna still get to the comments. Don't worry about it. My second question going into this thing so that we can follow along with the progression of the conversation, or I could push the envelope tonight because I'm the one that's up. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the podcast. Late nights. Firm. If they say, like y'all have been saying, here's my question. This is how I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm steps ahead of y'all. I hear what you're saying. I feel you. Check out my question. Um, if you say love is forever, how do you reconcile a love you choose to resist? You cut it off. It's you, not nobody else. I don't care what the reason is. They did this, they did that. You couldn't, you wasn't ready, blah, 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 blah. You cut it off. This is the scenario. How do you reconcile with that if you argue that love is forever? Because the same people you cut off while they living are going to eventually be in the grave. There's no more greater faithfulness to somebody who has passed on that you love versus somebody that you told that you love the same way who's living out here in the real world and you done cut them off for all the right reasons. I know some people are like, what is there's reason? I'm just gonna say calm the voices down in your own mind and think this train of thought. For all the right reasons, you cut them off. How can you reconcile a forever love that you cut off? I think that's a good question. Let me see what Chanel's talking about. She says, I feel like we should just take a step back and ask ourselves, have we ever been in love? That's a real woman thing to say. No, it's not about have we ever been in love like for real? I got you. There's no way you can have true love for someone and in an instant that love for them changes. I feel you. If it's supposed to be official, it can't change. I get you. If so, you probably never had real love for them or really was in love with them. I know a lot of people that we can have love for. That doesn't mean that you're in love with them. And maybe what you just said right there, taking a step back, is really asking yourself, um, are you even making a separation between people you have love for versus the people that you are in love with? Because regardless how we finish the conversation, that really answers one of the good questions that is a dividing factor. People that you have love for, you know, they could be your children's other parent. They could be the a child's other guardian. It could be some family that you pulled somebody into, and now your family holding on to and still inviting people to the get together into the church, sit on the front row, and that's your ex, and they already know how it went down. And I mean, different strokes for different folks. But the question is, the dividing factor may be that we have love for people versus being in love with people. And I think that when I hear questions like, it's a matter of, have you really been in love? Have you ever, the question is, have you ever really been in love? Do you know what real love is to even be able to discern if what you're dealing with is love? And some people are heartbroken over things that aren't really love. There, you have a love for a person, but you don't have love. You're not in love with them. And I think that people who can fall out of love and cut people off while people are still living, that they truly love by whatever, you know what I'm saying, way of life. I think that when you can cut them off and they're still alive, that shows that you have love for that person, you respect that person, you hope them, you wish them, God bless you. Y'all know how the Christian folks be cussing people out. Bless you. You know what I'm saying? I hope everything works out for you. I'm gonna pray for you. You know how they hit you, or maybe that's just how they hit me. I don't know, but either way, you can fall out of love for people, and that might be a love that is not a forever love, but it's a love that you experienced. Is it less valuable? It's a love, but I think that the weight or the appreciation people have for a love that is not forever is like being thrown in, baby with the bath water type stuff. It's like it's being intermingled. The lines are being blurred, and people don't know that there's some people that you are not truly falling in love with. What'd you say over here? Go react. Oh, you said there's definitely a difference, and you just said that. I'm telling you, man, we on the same thing. Chanel, come on now. It ain't about the time you spend. It's about what's real when you see it. And that's why I got these questions. That's why I'm up tonight. Because I'm like, for those of us who have options, and many of us have more options than we think we do, no matter what we're dealing with, you don't have to deal with things that, there's a fine line between love and respect. But tonight we're talking about love. Because I got questions about that. And I got another question. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the way y'all went or where y'all went with that. The third question is, how do you convince someone with trust issues that an old love is truly no threat? Like, say you dealing with somebody, and whether it's your past reputation, maybe it's the reputation of the person that you used to deal with. I don't know. Maybe it's the lifestyle or the background you got or people's prejudice or misconceived notions about other folks and who they are and where they come from and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, love. How do you convince somebody when you've gone through, and whether you can place it or not, pinpoint the person or not, you know that you have had love for people and you know that you've been in love with certain people, probably a lot less. because they're usually when somebody says maybe you ain't do you really know what love is, they think back to less than a handful of people that they might have experienced those. So it's thinner, um, or then those few people stand out more the longer you're alive. But when you're meeting somebody new and you're deciding to muster up the courage to just talk to somebody, no matter what the circumstances are, you just want to uh, talk to somebody. And how do you convince that person that a love that they witnessed or a love that they saw or something that they can, it ain't got to be, it ain't no intuition. The jig is up 2022, women. Y'all ain't got no women's intuition. Y'all just detectives on as listeners. And y'all be putting it all together in a deep way. That y'all come out with something, y'all be like, "There was my intuition. I felt." No, you didn't. Your brain just functions so fast. It comes upon you almost like an emotion, but your brain functioning so fast that you done came up with this idea that I don't think this is gonna work. I don't know if this is gonna work out. And you walked away from somebody and you lived this life in public that anybody else could have seen, anybody else looking would know, and you're ready to move forward, and you find somebody that you see a hint of love in, and on whatever level, whatever spectrum, but you recognize there is a hint of love, they stand out in life, and you thinking about being courageous about love again. How do you convince that new person that without taking the weak way of saying, "Oh, you just insecure. Why you asking about my exes and what I feel like that's just so weak. It is, man. It shows usually the person that's telling the person that's asking those questions, they're saying, "Man, you're insecure." They're only saying that because they are insecure. They have a fear that they feel like they need to rush the line on before you get there. They're back in middle school, elementary days where they like, I'm gonna break up with you before you break up with me. But you moving on. How do you do that? Chanel says, if you have a true love for someone, it doesn't go away, period. It lasts even after death. I believe that. I would remind them that just because I love them, it doesn't mean that I'm still in love with them. Like I said, there's a difference. And most people, what I'm saying, can say that. It's not a forever love. It's it's a honor, a declaration of a covenant, because love is a covenant. And it's an honor, it's almost like a memorial. It's like a statue of saying that what real love is, I can't show you every day. But the way I can love you forever is memorializing you in some way. And whenever that memorial pops up, I'll remember the love that was. But I may be moved on in a new relationship, falling in love with somebody totally different, living a whole different life because I've lived longer than I thought that moment was going to last. I didn't die then. I didn't have anxiety. I didn't lose my mind. I didn't stress out. I thought it was going to be over, but I'm still here. I'm in love with somebody new. That forever love becomes a memorial. It's not forever in expression, it's forever in your mind. Because the person that you with today is the person that you're supposed to be telling that you telling them you love them. And it's not about, I think people get caught up in comparison love. You know what I'm saying? It's like people think that it's got to be a competition. Somebody got to love you more than somebody, be more. And it's never just the love factor alone. It's usually the expressions of love. Well, they paid for this. Well, they stayed for this. Well, they, whatever the case may be. Um, I think we get caught up in the expressions of love, but not necessarily the love itself. And realizing that we do let love go, but there is certain love that is forever. And I think that love doesn't have to be constant. You don't have to experience it constantly. If it's real, then you should be able to appreciate it when it shows up. If it ever shows back up in your life, then you should be wondering, like, how can I express to this person that my past has no, in this area, my whole life is relevant to me, but in this area of love, that you ain't got nothing to worry about. How can you put them at ease without making them feel insecure or making them feel insecure about their insecurity? You know what I'm saying? Some people will be like, "Oh, I'm so smart," but it's like, man, if you're so smart, how can't you have compassion for somebody who is insecure? Most of us do, but we pick and choose when we want to let that compassion get out. What I would say is we should go on to another question. Because maybe we don't know. We ain't got to answer these questions. There's no pressure on me or you. We just talking. We firm. We strong in our experiences. But that doesn't mean our experiences give us the answer to every question. But that doesn't mean that we don't have the right to ask them. And I think that living your life and one of the most common things that people try to be strong in or try to show the most consistent growth. A person can be failing in every area of life, just coming up short, and not to everybody. Maybe to them, maybe to a group, maybe to a family member, maybe I don't know, to a loved one. But a person could be living their life, but love is the one area that I see everybody cannot resist growth in. We can't deal with the love we had before, even when it's the best, and we're looking for the love that we had at one point, the memorial, the memory of love, um, and the actions and the person and the individual it went with, as opposed to how many times we may have felt a stroke of love in life and we ignored it, or maybe the timing wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? But it's relevant to think about another person if you are away from them and they're nowhere around and nobody else is around but you and God, and you be like hype at that. I don't know. It just come out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Love it. Love it. I just want to. But what floods our mind is our insecurities, their insecurities. How do we uh, secure each other? And I think the pressure comes on trying to secure each other. And it's like we could show each other. Like we've lived a life where we've said things that didn't happen and things that did. At the end of the day, we should at some point be able to recognize if you're talking about love responsibly, or even think you qualified to answer these questions. Um, this conversation ain't for the weak, but you should be considering the other person and where they are in life, and the pressure of trying to secure them should be less in your mouth, even if you're a motor mouth, and more in your actions. And Who knows? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, you couldn't prove that. But that doesn't mean that we gonna lose out hope for you. You know what I'm saying? I believe in you. What y'all talking about? Oh, y'all, I've been over here running my mouth. You over here sending paragraphs. What you talking about, Chanel? You said if you can't believe what your mate is telling you and your mate is showing you no signs of any infidelity or anything, then yes, you're just being insecure. So there's no insecurities in the mind, man. It's a mind game. It's like a land. It's like I'm ex-military and I know a whole lot about land mines and setting mines and detonating them. And insecurities are a mental thing. There are explosions that go on in our mind that are not real. It's a fear in your mind. But anyways, to your point, you said, and for me, it reverts back to what you said yesterday. People need to learn how to love themselves before jumping in any relationship. We're talking, well, hypothetically from this point, let's end it on people who love themselves. That's right. You said, I want my mate to trust what I'm saying. After I reassure you, there is no reason to have to revisit the conversation. And the only thing that can cause you to revisit the conversation is the actions that don't add up to the conversation, which play a role in people's insecurities. LOL. You say you're not qualified to answer these questions. You just talking, but you talking, girl. You say you talking. Got Ashley. I hear you over there giggling, Ashley. I see you. I got another question for y'all though. I know you thought it was over, but I usually go about an hour, but I didn't know y'all was even gonna be in here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to answer all the questions. I had a conversation. But anyway, since you here, I got another question. Do you have to wait for some big, overwhelming, traditional, ceremonial marriage type level of commitment to open up honestly about loving someone's love? Did you hear what I said? Not about loving somebody, but loving someone's love. Like, what do you really think love at first sight is? I don't know what y'all really think love. What do you think love at first sight really has been all this time? Love at first sight means that you are seeing something, and for the first time, you are witnessing love. Not that the first time that you're seeing someone that you love them. A baby can do that. A baby loves, if you never sent the baby home with the mom and dad, or some, they'll babies are given up for adoption. Those babies grow up with those parents and they love at first sight. If that's what it really is, I feel like it's deeper than that. That's like surface level of love at first sight. The truth is, love at first sight is when you meet somebody and for whatever reason y'all click. And even though you've lived a life where you have closed the book in the chapter, maybe not the book, maybe the book's still going, but you can close the chapter on certain people that you said I love you to. And you 2, 3, 4 chapters later, maybe just one, who knows? Maybe you're at the end of the chapter where you already said goodbye to somebody. 2022. Either way, going forward, dealing with somebody new, the truth is that love is complex enough for people to overcomplicate it. and say that the only way I can really show you that I love you is through marriage. It's the ultimate expression. But many of us know people who love each other who can't live without each other who are not. So it's not necessarily can you know what I'm saying, measure up to the commitment or love somebody beyond or some paperwork or some religious value or some ceremony that wasn't done 1,000 years ago for the same reason. You know what I'm saying? Either way, does it have to be some grand thing for you to recognize somebody loving you? That's really what the question is. Someone's love, love at first sight. If you can, are you so, have you been through so much? Because a lot of people can't be honest with themselves. They've been through so much craziness with the same people that they bump into, strangers, even for those who all over the world or whatever the case may be, but or like people like me who was born in Germany but have bounced around all over the world. Is your perspective so wounded by love that you can't see it anymore? Somebody really love you. They ain't said it yet, but love is an action word, right? I mean, I've said it. I can be honest. I've been married, not singularly or whatever. I've been, I've had a love of my life more than once. I've also been baptized 3 times. But anyways, things can show up in your life. It's the meaning of when they show up, if they matter. And some of them we can live without, and some of them we can't. Some of them mean more than the rest, even though they are an image of what we've already had. But love at first sight is when you see somebody who loves you and asking yourself, can you recognize that anymore? Are you paranoid? Are you so guarded, so shielded that you're like, I don't know. Why you laughing? I'm being serious over here. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Get your giggle on. I just saw that, so I don't know at what point you was laughing, but I'm assuming you laughing at the conversation that we're having. Can you? Can I? I don't know. I don't know. Because a lot of people be saying a lot of things, and you can become a lot of different people trying to measure up to a lot of different people. And you are old enough, wise enough, you've lived long enough, you've experienced enough, you put yourself out there, other people put there. I don't know what you've been through, but no matter what your experiences are, you know what I'm saying, you live long enough to recognize that everything ain't forever. And some things that you think are or you expect them to be, especially when it comes to love, they're so near and dear to the heart. There ain't even a guard that you can put up for that, man. We feel like fools sometimes because of how guarded we know we are, but somehow somebody can still break in. And I think that we looking in the wrong direction. There's so much insecurity and established in what we've been through that we don't realize what you experience ain't somebody that's judging you for the love you have to give. They're coming to you with love that they have to give. And it might be better than the love that you had before. But it depends on where you are in life. if you're gonna you know what I'm saying, move on faith, when you can't see what you know, will you still, have you given up on yourself or your ability to survive that you just won't even take another step towards it? Because some love ain't forever. It's a gamble. If you ask me, that's what I say. It might not be right. Nah, Ashley, would you say, nah, love is still easy to recognize and feel, even after all the BS, LOL, the screening slash trust process just changes. I got you. That's true though. That's true though. You know what I'm saying? The resume changes or the requirements change for the position as time goes on, and rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? If you was running a company 10 years ago and I find you today, bump into you running the company the exact same way, I'm gonna be like, man, you don't know the laws changed, the policies changed, man. Certain stuff is not even, this ain't even the way that you're supposed to keep your records and your books. It's gonna look unfavorably upon you in the business world. It's the same thing in a relationship. You shouldn't be, it's not necessarily that you shouldn't run into the same people that you dealt with before, because sometimes maybe you wasn't ready to sit at the table with them to discuss business responsibly, to make an agreement that you can stand behind or perform. You get another opportunity years later, it ought not be the same person that showed up the last time, even if it's you. Chanel says, I don't believe in love at first sight, so I can't answer. Sorry. I understand. I understand. Some people who don't believe in love at first sight believe in soulmates. Some people who believe in love at first sight don't believe in soulmates. My take on it is more biblical. You know what I'm saying? As far as the way that I live, my take on a soulmate is somebody, when two become one. That's the only definition or only word that I can put at the table of this fellowship and say, God can't argue against. He said, when two become one flesh. And you know what I'm saying? There's reason for people to separate, but I believe that whoever you are with, you become one flesh. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the soulmate is concerned, I don't believe you are designated by God to only have one. And if you don't tiptoe and make the right choices in life, and somehow you'll run out. Y'all hold on one second. You said, and I also don't believe you can be in love with more than one person at the same time. Just my opinion. What do you mean romantically? Sorry, I had to get my what do you mean specifically? You mean romantically? I wasn't planning on staying on here this long, so I got to get some more juice in my situation over here. But anyways, what do you mean? You don't believe somebody can be loved with more than one person? Of course, you can be in love with more than one person. You got to be more specific than that for me tonight. Okay, you saying romantically? Okay, saying romantically. You don't think somebody can be romantically in love with more than one person? Man, if we was in court, I would bring the Bible on the stand and prove to you how people have done it, men and women. You ain't ever been in love with two people? I think that that's true as long as you put it in perspective. You can't be in love with two people forever at the same time. Sometimes you can be in love for a long time and you don't know it because life is a series of fortunate and unfortunate events, whether you like it or not. And sometimes things happen. What'd you say? That's and I feel you. Okay. Can I even say that? Polyamorous. I feel you. Multiple. The whole triple. What they call it today? What's the politically correct word? Triple. Three people in the couple. Sister wives and all that other stuff. Multiple. But that's always one sided. You know, you're gonna have that woman out there who's like, "Why can't I have two men?" We're not talking about your preference of expression of love tonight, though. I know y'all thought y'all was gonna throw me a curveball and I was gonna somehow get distracted, but I'm not because I got questions of my own. You feel me? But I feel what you're saying. I understand what it is. Uh-huh. It thruple. Is that how you say it? Thruple. Thruples. I feel you. And I understand what that is. You know what I'm saying? And some people do and some people don't. Some people dabble and some people won't. And some people, you know what I'm saying? I think that's I think that God didn't it don't surprise God. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's at the fellowship like, I'm a woman, a man of God, including myself as a man of God. But I would say that God wouldn't argue with that because there wouldn't be a reason why he said that a overseer or bishop or elder or something should have one wife, be a husband of one wife. Why would he say that? Why would God say that long time ago when everybody was like, yes, definitely one? Coming from the past and dealing with where we are today, man. I told somebody a long time ago, I said, man, God put that in there so that if you're gonna hold this position, you gotta I'm like, why would he say that when everybody's supposed to have one? It's probably gonna come a time where people believe that it's already okay to have multiple lovers. And that's a reality. 2022. You said we can make it if we try. Just the all of us. Not the two of us. I got you. All right. I mean, you know, some people do and some people don't. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And some people believe that you can marry more than one person legally. So guess what? You said it. And I feel like I feel like it's inevitable conversation is still relevant to the topic of love because one day it will be legal. And I believe that many of us who are alive today will see it. Will see the day when it's legal to have multiple spouses, whether you're male or female. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, these days it's male or female is a it's a thin line. But where we're headed, whether people want to accept it or not, I know many of us live in a box, but the truth is, one day it'll be legal, and just like other things have become legal, people have to decide: is it uh, something they can live with or live without? He said, "I think you're hoping that it will be legal." You know, hey man, I got a history. You don't know the chip on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I come to the table with experience. I need my respect around here. You know what I'm saying on the firm part. I'm firm too, just like you. You know what I'm saying? When I was in the military, I came fresh off the streets. I had a problem with, you know what I'm saying? I ain't have a problem. That was their words, not mine. I'm quoting. I had a problem with marijuana. And when I was in the military, periodically, I would do what I would do and got in trouble more than once. You know what I'm saying? In the army. So when I came out, my dad was the only one who kept it real with me and was like, you know what, the way things are going, I've been following the laws and blah 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 blah. And he was like, at some point, it just may become legal. Sounds irrelevant when I'm saying it today, but my dad said this to me before it was legal in Colorado. I mean, before all of that. He told me, he was like, just wait a little while, and you can probably clear up some of your record in the army once it becomes legal. And today, hey, things are looking a little bit different since I had somebody wise to tell me how to wait a little while. Melissa says, I believe in monogamous relationships for sure. Sorry for the jokes. I think that, uh, that's how it should be. Oh, there you go. I had to say that again. Said Flav wants two wives. I'm dead. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a time where I probably, uh, honestly, if any, I could. I ain't gonna lie, because there's too many people who know me who could say at any point in the comment section that nah, he lying. But anyways, I'm sure there was a point in my life where I believed that I had enough reason to think that I could do that in my lifetime. And what I learned is that, um, going back to what you said earlier, Chanel, that true love. I sometimes you don't. Sometimes you discover it like a treasure, and some people don't like the fact that like any type of discovery movie, you got to go through different type of terrain. Sometimes you're gonna get dirty. Sometimes it's not necessarily the environments and the conditions that you experience. It's the mindset that you keep while you go through the journey. And I think that sometimes when you're discovering life, and everybody ain't like that. I just happen to be like that. When you're adventuring through life, I think that sometimes when you recognize real love in somebody else, it slows down your pace. It makes you pay attention. It makes you evaluate your perspectives differently because most of us know that forever love isn't tied to just the words "I love you." That forever love is something that's different. And the worst part about the forever love is that you hate to lose it. I mean, death you can almost reconcile with that end, but when you have a forever love that's still here, that's so hard to live without. But when you're an adventurer like me and you're looking for it, you're searching for it, I think that the way that I recognize at the pace that I live my life, when love is in my life, is when things start to slow down or I'm willing to slow down for something. And a lot of times I get to over explaining myself, get to talking motor mouthing and be like, well, shut up, man. Why are you saying this? But I'm old enough to live with the fact that I said it. And I'm old enough to know that I really believe that the older you get, the more, maybe it's not even age, maybe it's just the experiences. The more experiences you have with it, you begin to, what I'm saying, screen for the real thing. And I think jealousy belongs in love. And say you're not the jealous type, but you love somebody and you're in love and you're like you said, hypothetically, I want two wives. At some point, if I see even me, if I'm having my dreams, my heart's desire, I got two women, they with it, wives, we gonna do this. The times are changing. We're just before our time, girl. Don't wait. Just stick with it. But we with it, no matter what. I think that if I see a moment of jealousy between any of us, I'll be forced to see it through love. And I believe that jealousy belongs in love. And what is expressed when jealousy is spoken is relevant. And I think that even in that situation, even if I had it, if I heard somebody say they jealous in any type of way, the way my heart works is like I want the purest, and it's usually the one that um, won't compromise or whatever they're doing, they're comfortable with. That'll turn out to be the purest, and you'll recognize it. At least you hope so. Maybe you don't. Maybe you live 5, 6 years of somebody playing you like a heart, but you say you were just joking. You wasn't trying to get all into my personal business. Personal business. This is we at the table right now. I might not say this when we get off of here, but I'm saying it right now. But anyway, I might. Anyway, maybe you would. Melissa says it's a belief system. What works for some may not work for others. Seasons change, and what may work for those now, as far as the topic is concerned that we're talking about with love, can change later down the line. That's a fact. Life is moving and not always in the direction that we expect, but one that we can appreciate. Liz also says, I've been there and done that, but I've changed and I now want is completely different from what I thought I wanted. That makes sense. You know, sometimes you can meet people and they will, they'll say all the right things. Even when they're questioning you and you believe that you've moved past some things, all of a sudden that stuff shows back up in your life. It's like, is that the thing that says this ain't real love? Or is that the fear this ain't gonna lead to what I want? And regardless of how you approach it, at the end of the day, you're being so real with yourself that you're saying, what do I want out of this situation? No matter how you're expressing it, you are at a point in your life where you're being honest with yourself. No matter how you express it, you're saying, what do I want out of this situation? And if you're mature enough to express that, even without saying it, but somebody can pinpoint it like me, then you do love yourself and you're being very considerate of what you put you through. And that's should be relevant for somebody that you're talking about love to. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying much. Y'all saying a lot. I ain't saying much. Did I have another question before we get off here? We've been on here for a minute, but I'll be up. My last question before we get off of here, and we'll end it on this note. It's been great so far. I appreciate y'all joining me, whether y'all on YouTube or on Facebook at the F.I.R.M 365 24/7. We be on here Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we on here randomly. That's a new thing. We going wherever we got to go to have the conversations that we feel like you might have the treasure. If I'm really an adventurer, then the truth is I'm looking for the answers. I ain't telling you that I'm an expert. I don't know. How many people I run into that make me feel stupid? I be like, yeah, I should have thought of that. Nah, that's pride. I shouldn't have thought of that. I ain't know that. Thank you for telling me that. Gratitude goes a long way. Here's the last question about love. When is love worth cutting off? Is love worth cutting off at the first sign of paranoia? You said you out. Good night. Each his own. As long as y'all happy, hey, find your happiness. I thought I knew what mine was, and I found out that I had no idea. And I feel like living this long and passing away, and whether all the people are going to live on with the love they have for me. Did I really know love? Did I really take a chance? Was I wounded, so wounded that I wouldn't even take a chance? And it's not take a chance on something that you've already drawn the line on. You love yourself enough to stand up for the line you've drawn. And if that's the real love, will step over that line and be worthy. But some love ain't worthy. So, like, when is a love worth cutting off? Is the last question that I have. You said, let's bring up mental illness sometime. It's always, oh man, we can talk about it. It plays a role when it's conducive to your health and well being. So, if it's violating, totally disrespecting, non conducive, unhealthy, and against your well being, that's definitely a good sign. I feel you. Ashley says, when love puts your mental and physical health in danger, it's time to cut it off. Couldn't said it no better. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the way you go to bed is the way you wake up. And if you ain't going to bed at night with no clear conscience, feeling happy, feeling satisfied with your choices, especially when it comes to love, those would be the ones that haunt you and keep you up at night. You'll be dreaming about crazy stuff, wondering what the Lord was trying to say to you, what the devil was trying to say to you, what you ate last night, what you was watching last night. You'll be confusion is what I'm trying to say about what you obsessing over. But I believe that you do have to draw a line. And I believe that real love will cross that line, and forever love has no boundaries. So what's a line? And who is anybody to question the lines that you draw? And even if you they didn't know where the line really was. The fact that they got this close, hey, most people don't even get this close to know where the line is, let alone for me to have to say it. But nobody should have to blame you for the lines that you've drawn when love is out of the box. Be open to the experience, learn from your experiences. Don't let your paranoia and fear uh, set you on another road as far as your future is concerned. If you believe that you can give real love, then you should be worth the time it takes to find it, and stop being so hard on yourself for your experiences. We live in cities, people. A lot of stuff going on in America. It's a wild place. Appreciate what you can appreciate. God knows what we was gonna be dealing with. All these people. There's people next door, people at work, people at the trying to holler at you at the cashier. You don't know who's real and who ain't. Everybody present themselves as the real thing. Everybody watch the same soap operas, the same stories, the same love conversation, and they know how to say it so well. How do you know? I don't know anymore. I'm 40 years old, and I ain't for sure because I didn't know I could be played like a fiddle, like a classic Michael Jackson record. But I do want to say that mental health, look at that conversation. Health, mental illness. I say that that's a great place to end it with. Know when to cut it off. When your mental health, when you ain't got no peace, when you're going to bed and you're not thinking pleasant thoughts about a person, but you're worried about whether they're gonna kick in your door, do something crazy, or make you have to act out a character, the character that you want to be in public. You don't want to be this way, but they pulling it out of you. But know how to cut things off, know how to hang in there, whether you've been through marriage, divorce, relationships. whatever the case may be, you're still valuable. Your love is worthwhile. It is the gold that somebody's looking for. It's the gold and the precious thing that you have. If it was pure from the beginning, over time, gold through fire purifies. You cannot believe that over time your value has depreciated. The truth is, no matter how you tell the story or how people have witnessed it, your value, your stock has gone up. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not more valuable today, or that you are more valuable than you are today. That being said, I'm going to jump off of here. You know what I'm saying? It's been a great conversation. You know what I'm saying? The F.I.R.M podcast is where we get down. We're taking it wherever we take it. I just had a couple of questions that was on my heart about love because, you know, I can't stop. I don't know about you. I can't stop. And I'm tired of calling myself a sucker just because I keep taking a chance. You know what I'm saying? No matter what I put in, my stock, like your stock, goes up. And hopefully, the fact that you can recognize a stock that is falling, bombed and depleted, hopefully that'll be the first steps of the discernment you need to get to the first question I asked of a love. Hopefully that's in store for you that lasts forever. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your boy Flavius, one of the co-hosts of the F.I.R.M podcast. Not to cut it off. But you still hear it though. I hear you. I'm cutting it off. That's what was being told to me. So cutting it off and amen. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all. See y'all randomly, or I will see y'all on Saturday nights live.
Be released from that anger, resentment, and bitterness.
You know, that's evidence.
Our context on it, and it kind of changed the definition.
Convinced himself that he's sufficient for himself.
I love discipleship. Why I love mentoring.
The us and the us and them is ever growing.
Facebook posts, Instagram posts, just another way of connecting with people.
Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another great conversation on F.I.R.M podcast.